Hold on, y'all. Let me fix my little light. I don't want y'all to see it in the camera. What's up, y'all? Come on into the live. I'm just adjusting. You know, when you live, you got to make sure things are adjusted with the look, the lighting, and everything, y'all. So come on in. Thank y'all for stopping by. This is Tasha checking in with another live review of Life After Lockup, Season 5, episode, where we on 18, Deleted But Not Forgotten. If this is your first time joining me, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. Shout out to all my new subscribers. Woo! We are on a push to get over 1K subscribers in 2024, and I know that we can do it, y'all. So make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. If I had to rate this review on a scale of 1 to 10, or this episode on a scale of 1 to 10, I would give it a, uh, maybe a 5. I know most of our ratings for these episodes have been like a 5 or 6, because nobody is really giving, like, it's not really giving a whole lot. Hopefully next season they will give a little more than this. I think they just need to get some fresh meat, some new cast members, some believable storylines, something. They need to have something going on. Some of the stuff is believable, but a lot of it you just be looking side eye like, really? And we're gonna get into why I feel that way, okay? So if it's your first time joining me, I take notes. Sometimes I can go off the top of the dome, but I like to take notes so that I can stay on track. Sometimes even with the notes, child, I be forgetting stuff. So if I do forget something about a certain couple, y'all go ahead and drop it in the comments. I hope y'all having a happy and great Sunday. I'm doing well. I hope you all are just in good health, good spirits, and all of that, sending all those wonderful, beautiful blessings you all's way, okay? All right, what couple we gonna get into first? Let's just jump right into Chevelle and Quaylon, okay? So y'all already know last episode they went to go see an attorney because they want to set up where Quaylon can adopt Maila, which is Chevelle's daughter, right? And they got the news that the father has to relinquish his rights, her biological father, and the stuff and process that they have to go through. Okay, so we open up with Chevelle sitting down with Maila. She's so cute. Oh my goodness. But she's sitting down with Maila and she's asking Maila questions. And sidebar, the kids on this episode, excuse me, not just this episode, but every episode, the kids are really smart. I love the children because the kids was giving it to their parents. They was giving it to them parents. They was letting them know, like, this is what I don't want. This is why you shouldn't do it. And they were making sense. The kids were sounding better than the parents. So she's sitting down with Maila. And she's talking to Maila about the wedding. She's like, are you excited about the wedding? And Maila was basically looking at her like, you get excited. Why do I need to get excited? Maila was not excited about the wedding. She was saying, no, I'm not excited. She says, I don't want to see y'all kiss. That's nasty. And Chevelle thought it was real cute. And she was like, Quaylon, he don't even look like he brushed his teeth. I said, out of the mouths of babes, because Quaylon looked like he be hitting that, you know. And if you know anything about people who do smoke weed or smoke anything, their breath is not always on good terms. She said it don't look like he even brushed his teeth. Then Chevelle goes on and brings up, you know, how do you feel about Quaylon being your dad or being your stepdad? And pause. I feel that Chevelle should have had this conversation with Maila before they even went to go see the lawyer. Like, why would you go see the lawyer, have Quaylon hopes all high, and y'all act like y'all going in a direction of actually, you know, of him adopting her, only for this conversation to happen and only for it to go the way that it went? Because Maila was like, nah, I don't want him to be, you know, my dad. She was saying, what if something happens to you? What if you die? She was also saying, you're my mom. You know, what am I supposed to do if something happens to you? She just said she don't want to call him dad. Now, pause. This little girl Now, the way she said it was in a child's, verbiage, and we get that. But she really did express her feelings. She said, something happened to you. Now I'm left to Quaylon. I don't want him to be my dad. She was like, something that Quaylon is showing my Ela that makes her feel like, I don't want him to be my dad. I don't want you for this to be a thing. She said, I just want y'all to basically get to know each other better. I don't want him to be my dad. I want somebody else to take up the slack if something happens to you, because if something does happen to you and he adopts me, then now I gotta be he has to be my custodial parent, my main parent. And Maila was like, I ain't here for it. And Chevelle's sitting there with the shock face like, okay, wow, like she don't know what's going on. Y'all had probably argued in front of this girl. This girl has probably seen Quaylon do some things that she is not pleased with. Because Chevelle gonna say, oh, didn't y'all go to the amusement park yesterday? Didn't y'all have a good time? And Maila was like, yeah, we had a good time. She was basically like, tricks are for kids, but you can't buy me you can't buy me with a trick. She was like, I may be a child, but we had a good time, but that don't mean that I'm still on board for him being my dad. What you thought? Just because he took me to an amusement park? Excuse me, y'all. I don't know, I've been having some throat flu been going around. I ain't saying I'm sick, but I've been having some, little congestion issues and all of that. So y'all stay safe out there. But anyway, back to Chevelle and Quaylon. So she was like, you can't dangle an amusement park in front of my face and think I'm just going to jump on it just because he took me there. Fast forward, Chevelle and Quaylon is in the kitchen, they cooking or whatever they're doing, right? And Chevelle tells Quaylon, she says, listen, we're going to have to pause this whole adoption thing. And Quaylon was like, well, what do you mean? You just need to call your child's father and ask him to relinquish his rights. And she's like, well, I'm not going to do that. Instead of Chevelle telling Quaylon what the conversation was between her and Maila, and then maybe have Maila brought into the conversation so they can answer any questions that she has, she goes and says, oh, well, we're going to have to pause the adoption, which took Quaylon from 0 to 100 because he's trying to figure out, well, why would you start this process if we're not going to go through with it? What happened in a 24 or 48 hour period or however long it's been that makes you want to say, now I can't adopt Maila? Quaylon says he really wants to adopt her. He says the biological father, ain't been there, so why can I do this? And Chevelle is like, because I'm not doing it. I'm not calling him. And then they get in an argument. And then Quaylon says, well, I'm your husband. We're trying to make this family come together basically, and Chevelle is like, you're not my husband yet. And Quaylon is like, and it could stay that way, and he slams the door and they get into this whole little thing or whatever, all because Chevelle would not be honest with him and let him know that Maila is the one that's having second thoughts, or Maila not even having second thoughts. She doesn't even want to call you dad or for you to be in her life at all. So anyway, that's Chevelle and Quaylon, and that is really all that happened with them. Nothing else happened with them. Like I said, these episodes lately has been lackluster, but I'm trying to give y'all what I can. So let's move on to the next couple, which is going to be let's get on to Justine and Michael. This was a lot with Justine and Michael. It wasn't really, but it irritated me a lot. As y'all know, Justine and Michael is still in Rhode Island. They took a whole family road trip or a family get together. They came from Pennsylvania and they went up to Rhode Island so that they can get with his kids and so they can all come together and spend some family bonded time in Rhode Island. So they open up, they're in the kitchen, they're having a Dominican American breakfast. I don't know what that is, but it looked like it was okay. So a couple of items on the table. It's their last day in Rhode Island, and they said that they have not even told the family that they are moving to Las Vegas. Y'all know Michael and Justine is trying to move to Las Vegas so that Montana Mills, that's his stage name that we ain't never heard of, can pursue his dream of rapping. Now, Michael is about 35. I think they're both 35, 36. And correct me if I'm wrong, I ain't never heard no rapper bust out at 35 or 36 and do anything. And I'm like, Michael, you sitting up here trying to chase this pipe dream that you have instead of focusing on your most important job, which is building a bond with your children. The oldest girl has a slight relationship with him, but his two youngest kids never really have been with him out in the free world. Only reason they know who he is because of his family, because he was locked up for what I think almost 10 years, whatever it was. But he probably went to jail right after they was born. But I'm trying to figure out how, because them kids are little kids. So what, did he have conjugal visits or something that allowed the women to get pregnant while he was in jail or whatever it is? So I don't know. But either way, I don't know exactly how long he was in there. I believe it was like 10 years. Put in the comments if y'all know exactly. But his main priority at this point should be building a connection with his children that he is not seen. He's already paroled to Pennsylvania, to Justina's house. He's with her and her kids all the time. And now you up here trying to make this move to Las Vegas. In my opinion, it's very selfish. Why can't you build a connection with your kids, go back and forth between Rhode Island and Pennsylvania, take a couple of years to establish this connection with them, or whatever you have to do, or either talk to the mom of your children and ask if you, since you've been away for so long, if you can have the children come with y'all to Vegas, or whatever you have to do. No, Justine and Michael haven't done none of this. So they are, trying to have breakfast or whatever, and finally they say they have to tell something to everybody. And Justina's getting a little emotional and everything, and I'm just like, girl, save the tears, because those to me were fake. What you get emotional for? You ain't one of his kids. You ain't about to be left out. You about to move on and have Michael all the time. So they go ahead and they tell the family, and everybody gets emotional. Everybody is like, his oldest daughter is like, you just got out, and we don't have you, and now you're about to move all the way over to the Midwest. And so the little kids are crying and everything, the moms are crying, everybody's crying, and I'm like, why do y'all think this was a good idea? Y'all should have been told them this to get out the waterworks, to answer any questions. Michael is up in his confessional saying he has to act now. He know everybody don't like it, but he has to do what's best right now so that he can build a future for his family. And I understand you moving and doing things and all of this and that, but you're talking about going into the music industry, which is so fickle. You can have a hit one day and people are rocking with it for like maybe a year, and then after that they're like, we're on to the next one. Or maybe they're rocking with it for months and we're on to the next one. If you don't put your footprint out there and establish a presence and a brand, people will, they're so distracted these days. Their attention is so directed with all these different stuff. And so what makes you think that your music is so good that people are going to be focused on Montana Mills for a period of time? And I don't understand it. So they're telling them all of this and that, they're giving hugs and stuff like that, and now they have to get on the road to head back to Pennsylvania because they packing up the house. They are literally about to move to Vegas. They said they found a house in Vegas, they closed on a house in Vegas, and this is what I don't understand. As far as I know, Justine ain't working. Remember a couple of seasons ago, she quit her job. And she was happy about it. She was like, I ain't pregnant. My husband wants to be home, so I'm going to quit my job. And I was just like, really? Wow. She wasn't even showing yet, and she had quit her job. So she quit her job. We know she ain't working. Mike is fresh out. He ain't been out that long. We know he ain't working. The only thing we've seen them do is this show, and maybe put out some really expensive tennis shoes he tried to sell to people. These shoes was like $99, but someone did the research and found that you could find them on like what's the website? One of them websites like Temu, or one of them websites. So it's like, what are y'all doing for money? How are y'all closing on a house in Vegas? I just do not understand. I mean, unless they got some money stored up or something that we don't know about, that they're not showing us on this show, but it don't make no sense. So they're going back there. Fast forward, they're in Pennsylvania now. They left Rhode Island. He left his kids again, and they're up here packing up the house and everything. And Michael gets a call from his parole officer, and his parole officer says, "You need to come in to the facility." So Michael says, "Okay, I'm on my way." He goes to the facility. After he comes out of the facility, he's in the car like, "Dang, dang." And I'm like, "Oh boy, here goes something. Something has happened up in there." Michael tells us that he got some paperwork where his parole was supposed to transfer to Vegas, and something happened where he did not get the paperwork and fill it out in time. So now he's looking at 30 to 90 days in order for his parole in Vegas to go through or whatever it needs to do. Now he says he is stressed out because he has to pay the mortgage in Vegas and he has to pay the house in Philly. And I'm like, child, how you gonna do that? Y'all are leaving out something. Y'all leaving out something of how he getting his money. Because last time I checked, the price of inflation at this point, and even if they shot it a year ago, things are high, high through the sky. So how the heck is he sitting up here affording to pay for two different places? So he says he wants to tell Justine, but he says he can't even think about telling her because it will crush her and everything. And I'm like, Michael, you gonna have to tell her, because she calls while he's in the car, and he's like, everything's okay, everything's a go, and all of that, lying to her when he just found out that they can't move yet. Like the paperwork has to go through its process, and it's gonna take a period of time. Mike don't care about them kids. It's sorry to say, it's sad to say, but Michael do not care about his kids, because a real father, a real man that cared about his kids would have a more believable, detailed plan. You up here talking about I'm about to go to Vegas to work on my music career. What music career, sir? We have not heard nothing from you. We don't know. I can't pull up a song. It's not on Apple Music. It's not on Spotify. It ain't on YouTube Music. It ain't on nothing. After this, I'm gonna have to go Google and see if I could find one of Montana Mills' videos, and maybe it's on YouTube and I don't know about it. And maybe I'll post it on my community wall and be like, okay, he do got one song out. But what music career? You ain't link up with no known producers, no nothing that we know of that's going to take you from here to here. So what? I just don't understand. You are 35. You have now 8 kids. You got 7 kids, one on the way. You ain't got time to be chasing no dreams. You got to get out here and do a 9 to 5 and work on your dream on the side. And that's just what it is. Um, what else happened? Hold on, y'all. And I think that's all that happened with them. Let me make sure I ain't got no other notes on them. I think that's all that happened with them. Yeah. So now he's on his way back to the house, and when he gets there, he said he didn't want to tell Justine on the phone what happened. But when he get back to the house, he gonna have to have a conversation with her, and she probably gonna be upset and all of this and that. But it's just like, I don't know why they don't have a more detailed plan. I don't know why they don't sit in Philly and wait for her to have the baby, wait for her to, rest up for a couple of months, then move. Because in the meantime, while he can't go anywhere, while she had the baby and she's resting up, he could go back to Rhode Island, talk to the parents of his children, and see if they can't figure out a way where the kids can maybe come with him and he can be the parent to them for the next couple of years, since he was locked up and he missed out on years with his children. Something that the moms asked them. They said, have you talked with the moms about setting up an arrangement? Because Michael says, well, maybe I'm gonna come visit once a month, or 2 times a month, or have the kids come to Vegas twice a month and all this other stuff. And I'm like, don't be spinning these kids' heads around with all this instability. Y'all need to sit down, Justine and Michael, and come up with a reasonable plan that is going to make sense. And if this show is doing a bad edit, y'all need to come out and let us know. Because as of right now, I feel like you all are very selfish. I feel like your children are on the back burner and y'all don't care nothing about Michael's kids and y'all just building this other family and moving on along while his kids are in Rhode Island suffering without him and being left to the grandma and the aunt and the mom. And it's like that's messed up because a father is very much important in a child's life. And I don't understand why Michael just can't get that and stop chasing this dream that he has. But anyway, moving on to the next couple. Because that's enough of Michael, because they are full of crap. I can't believe that. We're going to move on to Lindsay and Blaine. Ciao. Miley Grace. Miley Grace wins the award for the child on this show that gave it to her parent in the most respectful way she possibly could. So we opened up right with Lindsay and Blaine. So last episode, Lindsay asked Blaine to marry her. And of course he said, yeah, she brought this necklace for him, even though she has to come up with $20,000. She decided she's going to take some of the money and buy Blaine a necklace so that they can, get married and all of that. I'm like, yeah, whatever, girl, So anyway, we open up. Miley Grace is in the bathroom doing her hair. Lindsay is telling her that she asked Blaine to marry him. They're getting married. And she's basically asking Miley what she thinks. And Miley is saying, what? Miley said, why would you do that? Literally, Miley was like, she said it just don't seem right. She said it don't seem right. And Lindsay is up here like, well, women these days ask men to marry them. And Miley is just like, nah, that ain't right. She said if he really wanted to marry you, then he would have asked you. She literally said this, y'all. I'm not ad-libbing. She said if he wanted to marry you, he would have asked you. And I'm like, duh. I said, how is it that a 13-year-old, almost 14-year-old can understand the way things should go and how stupid you look asking this man to marry you and you can't get it? Miley said it just doesn't feel normal. Miley said it don't feel normal. It ain't right. If he wanted to marry you, he would have married you. So why did you ask him? So then Miley goes on. Lindsay says she tired of being alone. She said she tired of being alone, which I think is a lie. Lindsay is looking at probably 40 years right in prison. So what she's trying to do is marry Blaine before she goes in, because she said herself in her confessionals that she wants to be in a white dress and not an orange jumpsuit getting married. She also wants to ensure that Blaine is going to be able to be the custodial parent over Miley, even though Miley has told her mom that she does not want Blaine to be her custodial parent. She says she likes Blaine and all that, but she does not want him to be her dad. And these parents, for the life of me, do not care. Alicia Bell took in Maila's, questions and her concerns about Quaylon being the dad, and she paused the adoption. But Lindsay doesn't care about nobody but Lindsay. She didn't care enough about Blaine to wait and let him ask her to marry him. She doesn't care enough about Miley Grace to respect the fact that she has these strong concerns about Blaine being her dad. She doesn't care about nobody. Lindsay wants to do what Lindsay wants to do, right? And so, what else? Miley goes on and asks Lindsay, she says, are you pregnant? Lindsay's like, no. Because in Miley's mind, she's thinking the only reason you would ask him to marry you is because you possibly will be pregnant, right? And so Lindsay says she wants to get married in a month. Miley is like, how in the world are you going to get married in a month? Miley even broke it down. She said, you got to have a venue. You got to get a dress. You got to get the food. You got all of this stuff. I say, how is this child telling her mother that these are the things that you have to do, and Lizzie don't get it? How about Lizzie couldn't even handle all the questions? Because as Miley was grilling her and digging into her and asking her, what is your problem? Lizzie standing at the door and she's like, okay, lay off. I said, dang, you can't even handle getting grilled by a 13-year-old. Because she know it was true. She know Miley Grace was making sense. She knows she was letting her have it and telling her, you sound foolish right now. So we fast forward. Blaine is on his way to work Lindsay is telling him that she's about to go dress shopping with her mom and somebody else, I guess a friend or whatever. And Blaine is like, "Why are you rushing this? You're going dress shopping." And she's like, "Yeah, because I want us to get married in a month." And he's like, "Why are you rushing this?" He was like, "I don't want to get you some bubblegum machine ring. I want to get you a nice ring." Blaine also is trying to make sense of why she's rushing it. Instead of Lindsay coming out and being honest and saying that she wants to be able to hold on to Blaine for him to take care of Molly while she locked up, if she get locked up, and all of that. And it's crazy, pause, she don't even know how much time she gonna get, or if she's gonna get any time, but she is rushing this narrative of getting married and all of this and that, and she don't even know what's gonna happen yet. So then fast forward, she goes to the doctor. Lindsay is going to the doctor, and they're trying to paint this narrative that she might be pregnant, because Blaine is talking about some before she went to the doctor, you want to work on kids and all of that. I'm like, Blaine, how's she going to work on kids when she might have 40 years lingering over her head? And she was like, no, I don't work on no kids. And so she goes to the doctor. They try to make it seem like she may be pregnant and stuff like that, how they're trying to edit it. But she's actually going there because she has an IUD inside of her. And if y'all don't know what an IUD is, it's a form of birth control. And I think it's something they put inside of you and all of that. You know how birth control used to just be like the patch or other little things that we had back in the day. But now they got all these different methods and stuff like that. So she went to her OB to check and make sure that the IUD was still inside of her and all of that. And she, got that taken care of, because the doctor was like, what you don't want to do is get pregnant. And Lindsay was like, yeah, I don't want that to happen. And that was basically it with them. Lindsay get on my nerves. She always trying to rush something. Like, I got to do this. I got to do that. I got to do this. I got to do that. And it's like, it's nothing wrong with having ambition about things, right? But the way that you're moving and knowing that you have a possible prison sentence hanging over your head, to me, is just stupid. Like, that's just dumb. Moving on to the next couple, which is going to be Melissa and Louis, another couple that got on my freaking nerves. Not couple, mainly Melissa. She got on my last nerve. I can't stand Melissa. Every time I look at her now, she looks like Hatchet Face from Crybaby. I'm telling y'all, if y'all ever see that movie Crybaby, she looks just like Hatchet Face. When we get off of this live, for the live watchers and the replay watchers, go Google Hatchet Face. I think it's either Hatchet Face or Ratchet Face. And I'm telling you, Melissa looked just like Hatchet Face. So anyway, Donna, they're at a housewarming at the house. So y'all know, hold on, y'all. Okay, here we go. So they're having a housewarming at the house. That's what Melissa is getting ready for today. But while she's getting ready for that, Louis is going to a job interview. I was like, okay, Louis, go to the job interview, because he told them he wants to be a personal trainer. So he went to a job interview to be a trainer. So he went to a gym. When he got to the gym, he met a guy, and the guy's name was Rob. And so he leveled with the guy. The guy said, we're going to have to run a background check. We're going to have to do several things to make sure that you are a right candidate. You know everything they say on these job interviews. Which this job interview was really weird, because most jobs these days, you have to fill out an application online. But when Louis got there, he ended up filling out a paper application, and they was asking him questions. And of course, the guy was like, we're going to have to do a background check. And Louis leveled with him right away. He said, listen, I just got out of prison. I did 10 years for drug possession and everything that he went in for. He says, I've been 5.5 years clean. I'm not the same person I was. I'm a hard worker. He's selling himself and everything. As soon as he brought up that he had just got out of jail, Rob tried to keep a straight face, but his whole demeanor was like, oh, no way, ball up the application, throw it in the trash. And I feel like that's messed up, because in my opinion, I don't think Louis would mess over this opportunity. If he got an opportunity to work in a gym because he said he fell in love with working out, I feel like he would really do good, and he would really, be a great employee, not give Rob no issues and everything. But see, The world likes to always remember your past. They can't let it go. They cannot let it go. You can do one thing, maybe even two things, and they will hold it over your head for the rest of your life. You could do something when you're 18 years old and they will still keep talking about it when you're like 50. And you're like, that was then. I'm not the same person. Because I believe people can grow and they can change. You do something when you're younger, you're naive. You don't have it all together. They even say, specialists say that at 25 years old is when the frontal lobe of your brain that makes decisions matures. So if you think about it, if you did something before 25, not saying it excuses what you did, but you were not mature enough to realize the effects of what it is that you were doing. And I feel like that some of these jobs need to understand, like, ask about what they did before you just write them off. Like if he went to jail for something like, drug possession, maybe that's not a crime that is, up there. So maybe he can go ahead and say, well, okay, at least you didn't kill nobody. And I know he's looking like, I don't care if he ain't killed nobody or not. A crime is a crime. But I just feel like there are violent crimes and there are non-violent crimes. If someone did a non-violent crime, I feel like, and you believe them, because Rob said he believed that Louis is a legit person, that he turned over a new leaf. So if that's the case, the only thing you can do is give him a chance and see what he shows you. Put him on probation or something. And most jobs do. They put you on like a 90-day probation to see if you're going to prove yourself to the company, see if you are a good employee. So I'm like, why can't you just do that for him? But because he's a felon, people look at him sideways. Because Louis even said it's hard to get a job as a felon. And that's why I feel like, Louis, I know you want to be in the gym and everything, but if Melissa's psycho self has set you up with some type of trucking job to get some money in your pocket and begin to build your life, I believe you should just go with the trucking job if she got it for you, and continue to go on interviews at gyms to try to prove yourself so you can get what you want. But right now, you got to get something, Louis. But I feel like it was messed up because Louis left his information. And Rob in his confessional said, someone with his background may start off good, but then they may end up bad. And that's something that he's concerned about. Louis said when he left, he said he takes full responsibility for his life, what he did in his past, the crimes that he made, everything. He accepts it. And I said, good job, Louis, because at least you ain't saying, well, it was Joe Blow and it was Tony and it was all of them and I just got caught up in all that. He takes full responsibility. He knows that he did the crime, so he had to do the time. So Louis gets back to the house. Melissa said how the interview go. Louis says, well, it was just the interview. When he told the guy his past, he wasn't really rocking with him. So Melissa gonna say, so it was a waste of time. And Louis was like, nothing is a waste of time. And I said, Melissa, I can't stand you. You are the worst person to this man. And when the cameras are rolling, sometimes she wants to be lovey with him. And I don't know what they do when the camera's not rolling. But the picture that she's painting is that she thinks she's better than Louis. And if that's the case, then why be with him? Why be with him? Why you're with him? Because you're caught up in this fantasy, this high school fantasy of who this man was, and you can't get out of it. And then on top of that, you probably can't even get nobody else. That's what I'm thinking. You probably can't get another man, Melissa, and that's why you hanging on to Louis. But to treat this man like trash is ridiculous. And I hope Louis wakes up and leaves her old hatchet face, ugly looking Italian self that can't even make spaghetti right. Dried up sauce. Dried up pasta all the daggone time. That's all she ever made. So anyway, they at the house. She talking about some Louis help me. Hey, Tasha. Tasha says, hey, I didn't get the notification. I'll be in the bushes. I'm getting dinner started. Okay, it's okay, Tasha. I don't know why YouTube do that. I feel like I guess you got to make sure that your little what's that? The little bell is on. But some people say that they don't get notifications for other YouTubers as well, and I don't understand that. I mean, I guess YouTuber put out who they consider as popular. And I'm like a preteen in the whole YouTube street, so I guess they ain't show me. I don't know. But it is. It's all good. It's all good. Shout out to you. Thank you for joining me. Shout out to the replay watchers as well. So, So after they're getting ready, the family starts arriving because Melissa's like, I need your help, Louie, and all this stuff to make the daggone housewarming happen. And so Louis starts helping her and everything. Then the family comes in. You know who I was here for? I was here for the brother-in-law. Because when the family came in, immediately Melissa joined the family on trying to dig in on Louis. Because Melissa talking about he went on an interview and it was a waste of time and everything. And then the brother-in-law was like, he only been here 24 hours and he already got an interview. He was like, that's good to me. He was like, your expectations are ridiculous. This is her brother-in-law that gave it to Melissa. I said, thank you, brother-in-law. I mean, be on Louis' side because Miss Donna wasn't there yet. So somebody had to be on Louis' side. It was almost like it was this side of the room that didn't see it for Louis versus this side of the room where Louis and the brother-in-law was standing. And I'm just like, yeah, get a dude a break. He only been in New Jersey for 24 hours and he done already went on an interview. So that tells you that his mind is focused on trying to do good. Unlike Red, who been in New Mexico with Joy for like what, a month, and all he doing is playing PS5 and hide and go seek with freaking Sway. Come on now. So then what happened? So Donna comes in to meet the family. She's like, hey everybody, what's going on? And they start talking about Louis' job interview again. And I'm just like, gosh, they really are doubling down. Every time Melissa family come around, it's almost like they're like, okay, let's roast Louis. And not in a funny kiki ha ha way. They try to dig at him, put him down, make him demasculate him, everything. Donna talking about yeah, Melissa, hold on y'all, let me get to what Donna said. Yeah, Melissa and her sis Melissa's sister. So Donna comes in and she starts talking about Louis. She starts talking about how great of a guy he is, how good he is, how he's not the same person that he was, basically coming to his defense. Then all of a sudden, Melissa's sister wants to take Donna to the side and talk to her, which I thought was weird. So she takes her in the back room, she talks to her, and she talks about how she dealt with an addict in the past and the things that she had to go through, and she just don't want Melissa to have to go through that with Louis. Donna said she didn't even know Louis was using when he was at the house. She said she found out because she came home one day and he was having a seizure on the floor. Donna says, hold on. Donna says at this point in Louis' life, his drug of choice is Melissa. The sister says she has an issue with an addict. And I said, Louis is a former addict. He has been 5.5 years clean. Give this man a break. And the sister, you need to mind your freaking business. It is not your relationship. It is Melissa and Louis in a relationship. Just because you had a rough past with the addict, do not put your past on their relationship or the guy you dealt with on Louis. Don't do that. So, Donna says in front of the family, because I guess they go back in front of the family, she says Louis is a different person today. And then Melissa's father chimes in and he says if Louis hurts Melissa, it's going to be a problem. And Donna says if Melissa hurt Louis, you they were shooting they were shooting back, threatening rap battles. She was like, if Melissa hurt Louis, you gonna have to look outside for somebody. And then Melissa's father said, oh, we Italian, we don't call the police. And she said, I ain't talking about the police. I said, who you know, Miss Donna? So then after that, what happened, y'all? Because this was just ridiculous. Donna says she protects hers, just like she looked at the dad and said, the dad, you protect your daughters, because basically they trying to tell Miss Donna to fall back, as if the dad has fallen back. Miss Donna and the dad, they go out on the porch and they talking everything, and they squash their little beef or whatever they had, and I guess that's the Italian way. I don't know. She says she protects hers, he says he protects his. She says we're just alike. They got up to hug, and Melissa's father, y'all, still walking around with that bat. And somebody in my comments one time when I reviewed it said he need that bat to stand up. I think it was Mimi. And I was like, oh, maybe he was trying to threaten with the bat. But now that I see the bat again, I'm thinking he do need the bat to stand up. So after the whole housewarming, Miss Donna was leaving to go back to Georgia that day, and she was very emotional. And speaking from a mother's perspective, right? When we first met Miss Donna, I don't think none of us liked her. We was just like, why is she being such a B word to Melissa? Like, why is she just so evil? And as the episodes went on and we found out the way that Melissa was treating Louis, and the fact that Donna had to deal with not having her son around for a long period of time, as a mother, I began to understand her because she was so emotional when she had to leave. She gave Louis a bracelet that had a sentimental message in it of encouragement and all of that. And she was like, take care of yourself. I know you're going to do well. Because if I lost my child for maybe 10 years and maybe longer than that, because when he got on the drugs, she lost them too. If I lost my child for that period of time, I probably would feel the same way because, you don't have that bond. You don't have that around. Even if your child is older, it really, really hurts when you don't have that your child around. So I understood Miss Donna's heart at this point. What else? She said this is the hardest day for her. It's the hardest day for her because she has to go back to Georgia while he stays in New Jersey. Even though Louis is 40 years old, Miss Donna is still looking at it as like he's been gone for 10 years and he was on drugs before that. So she really didn't have him for a long period of time. She goes to Melissa and she says, take care of each other, take care of him. Melissa says she feel like Donna has some tricks up her sleeve. And I said, Melissa, what the heck are you talking about? This lady is in pain because she's not going to have her son anymore and she's going to be alone. I think that's the biggest thing. She's going to go back to her home and she's going to be alone. And as a somebody who has lost a husband and a child and everything, and you get in that house and you are alone and you're older, that is so sad. And Melissa been talking about she got some tricks up her sleeve. I said, girl, shut. I can't stand Melissa. I want to take this book and bust her in her nose so that she don't have to go get the surgery. She probably like, okay, thank you, Tasha, for hitting me in the nose because, now I don't need to spend the money. She get on my daggone nerves. Let this lady have her moment with her son, okay? Because she's the only one that comes to his rescue. Now he about to be left there with your old crazy psycho family that don't see it for him. The only one that freaking see it for him is the brother-in-law. Hey, Lisa Lafayette. Hey, it's been a minute since I caught a live. Welcome to the live. Thank you for coming in. Yeah, Melissa get on my daggone nerves. She get on my nerve with her ugly self. She ain't even cute. And I don't like saying people ugly. But when people have nasty attitudes, this is my philosophy. When you have a nasty attitude, look at the person because 9 times out of 10, the person is ugly. That's how I feel. If you are ugly on the outside, 9 times out of 10, you got a ugly personality. Or if you have a ugly personality, look at the person, like really examine them, and you be like, that's why they got a nasty attitude because they ugly. If I was ugly and had to wake up with an ugly, ratchet face every day, I have an attitude too. So Melissa, I don't see it for you. If you ever come across my video, you are wrong. Your family is wrong for treating this man that way. At least Louis is getting up, going to an interview. At least he's staying sober. At least he's trying to love you. He's trying to build a life with you, unlike some of these other men on this show that are trash. But moving on from that, because she get on my nerves. The last and final couple, y'all, is going to be Chance and Taylor. Y'all, hold on. Let me get to that page. Chance and daggone Taylor. Chance has got to be I have dated some real jacked up dudes in the past, but Chance has got to be the worst man I have ever come across. The worst man that I've ever dealt with in my life still does not equal up to Chance. He is by far. Let's get into it. So, what else? Hold on, y'all. Okay, so they open up. I drew a brain fart and I was looking at my notes. I was like, wait a minute, because I got 2 pages for them, which I don't understand why. So they open up, they in the garage. In the garage that Chance just tore up, Chance tore up that lady whole house. He tore up her house, knocked her up, probably put her in debt. Ain't bring nothing to the table. The house looked dirty. He looked dirty. She looked dirty. The kids unruly. The whole setup since he been out has been nothing but a disaster. And you know what? You can't even too much blame him. You gotta blame Taylor. Women, y'all, y'all gotta take ownership sometimes about the men that y'all let in y'all life. And this ain't no beat up on women, because I love women. I'm a woman, but we do have to take ownership for things that happen in our life, right? We have to be completely honest with ourselves. Taylor let Chance come into her life and wreak havoc. She could have, and he showed her red flags, not pink flags. He showed her red flags before she even got pregnant with his child. The fact that he gave her an STD was a big red flag. Are you kidding me? I would have been done with him after that. It wouldn't have been no need to sit up here and have a baby with him and try to work on something with him and all of that. As soon as he gave me that STD a couple of seasons ago, I would have been out. I would have been like, oh, nah, this nasty Negro, this ain't gonna work. But anyway, they doing an epoxy table in the garage, and they talking, and Taylor was like, she don't like how he didn't tell her about Bobo. Chance says that he wants to be honest with Taylor, all these hope dreams he promising her, because he on a good foot now. His friend, with the limo, I forgot his name, he let Chance borrow the money to pay off Bobo. So now he done paid off Bobo. So now he feel a little good about himself, I guess. So they in there making the table, and then all of a sudden Chance is like, he got a surprise for her. He want to be romantic. Y'all, if what Chance did right here was romantic, my name is Michelle Obama. Okay, I'm just going to say it. So they go outside. They in their whole get up from doing the epoxy tables and stuff. Chance ain't even say, go in the house, get dressed, take a shower, get your hair all done up. I'm going to do the same thing, and then we going to go out for a nice time. You know why? Because this was not romantic. This was Chance again trying to do one of his jack of all trades and trying to sell Taylor. Y'all remember he asked Scott, Bobby's fiance, about investing with him in the limo business. And Scott was like, you better get out of my face. I'm not doing that. I heard about you. No. So he didn't get it from Scott. Once again, he about to try to get in debt. This is why Chance has issues, because he keep borrowing money from Paul to pay Peter and Peter to pay Paul. And none of his stuff ever works out where he can pay the person back. And that's why Bobo had him hemmed up on the side of the wall last week, because he always owing somebody. Because he talks a good game, sell somebody a dream, and then he ends up can't follow through with it. So they go outside, right? And outside is sitting this 1984 looking limo. I said, do anybody even take limos anymore outside of the prom? Because at this generation is taking black cars, like Uber Black or something like that. Like, he pull up with this whole 1980 limo. The daggone dude that's driving them is in jeans and a t-shirt and look like he ain't bathed or brushed his hair all day long. I said, who the heck is this hillbilly? And then, so they sit up there and tell us, like, what's going on? So he's like, what's going on? Chance is like, oh, you haven't been in a limo. And she's like, no. Her voice. So then they get in the limo. And they're riding the limo and everything. And Chance is like, oh. Just hold on, y'all. Oh my God, Taylor says, how much did this limo cost? And he's like, nah, I borrowed it from a friend to take you to get something to eat or whatever. And he says, we even got our own driver and everything. And like I said, the driver looked like a hillbilly. And then he says, I want to invest in this limo company to do limo parties and all of that. Now, he's trying to appear act like it's a romantic gesture, but really he's trying to present Taylor with this opportunity to see if she will invest in the limo business now. So as they was riding, Taylor was like, oh my God, did the wheel she said, did the wheel just fall off? Because I guess they hit a bump or something. The limo was probably raggedy. The ride was probably not smooth. The ride was probably raggedy and everything. So they driving, y'all. And the girl, they pull up to a parking lot where what's the name of the place? It was Chicka Burger. I said, you got to be kidding me. He ain't take her to no restaurant. He pulled up to a carryout and had them go in and order a daggone burger. I said, how you gonna pull up in the daggone chicken burger parking lot where you walk up and order in the daggone limo? Chance with daggone clothes on that you've been making epoxy tables with. I said, y'all look ghetto. Y'all look real ghetto. So they went and got the food and they up there eating it. And Taylor is like, this is really nice and all of this. I said, Taylor, don't let this Negro sell you no change in him just because he went and got a dusty 1984 limo and took you to go get some burger and fries, and now y'all sitting in the daggone trunk waiting for y'all food. What kind of mess? I said, child, I can't. Lisa, was it not funny? Was it not crazy? They ghetto. Ghetto. So fast forward, right, after they had their whole little ghetto night. Now I could see if they were like 20 years old, 19 years old, something like that. Okay, in their juvenile mind, that's romantic for them. But not for me. You can't pull up to my house and I'm in overalls and working and you talking about some, let's go get a burger in this limo. I'm gonna be like, let me tell you something. First of all, the 1984 limo, I don't understand why we gotta go in that. But if we are gonna go in a limo, we going to a restaurant. And I'm about to go get ready. You're not about to have me in the trunk waiting for food with a limo. Like, I know the person working there was like, what the heck is going on out there with the limo? And they pulling up getting a burger. So fast forward, production knocks on the door. They knock on a Taylor door, right? And Taylor opened the door, and Taylor tells production that she had to kick Chance out. I said, child, what happened now? She said she had to kick him out because she asked to see his phone. Chance went through her phone. She said he went to work, then he came home and he went through her phone. Don't know why, right? She's up here changing the baby, and y'all pause. Didn't the baby look like the baby aged like 4 months since? Didn't we see him on this season as like a baby, and then all of a sudden we pan over, so when she's changing him after she kicked Chance out, the baby looked like he was about 6 months. I said, what in the I said, what kind of growth spurt did this baby have? So anyway, she says Chance went through her phone, then she turns around and says, well, let me go through your phone. And so she said she found 171 messages in one day. I said, dang, who was texting that much? I barely can get through 5 messages to text somebody, because if you text me back on message number 6, I'm calling you, because I came from a generation where we talk. We got time for all of this. You know, texting for me should be like a quick response, like pick up some eggs. Okay. Get some milk. Okay. Don't be sending me no Aaliyah 4-page letter on the text message. I ain't got time for that. But Taylor says Chance had time that day because he sent 171 messages to a number that she doesn't recognize. She said Chance, and then they pan over Chance because he's somewhere sweeping up trash somewhere. I guess he working off his debt to his friend that he borrowed $1,000 from. He told him, I know that's Taylor that made up a fake account and she's trying to get me to think it's her and all of this other stuff. So when Taylor says she asked Chance again to see his phone or something like that, they got another argument. He says it's in the bathroom. She go in the bathroom and she said that this is what it was in the bathroom, and the phone was in the toilet, y'all. Chance threw his phone in the toilet. And pause. The bathroom was so dirty. Did y'all see that toilet? That toilet had a ring on the inside. I said, child, where is the scrubbing bubbles when you need it? I said, ew, the daggone toilet looked nasty. The phone was an upgrade to the toilet. I said, oh my gosh. And I said, pause, this was fake. Because in this generation where our cell phones are like mini computers for us and our everything, who throwing their cell phone in the toilet? Raise your hand if you throwing your cell phone in the toilet. Not me. Wouldn't be me. Lisa said they pulled up in the limo to Chickaburg. Yes. Ghetto. So I'm not throwing my phone in the toilet. Chance had a backup phone. That probably was a prop that they put in the bathroom and said, okay, Chance, throw this in the toilet. So Taylor said she left the phone there in the toilet so they could see it. So then she kicked Chance out. She called the number. Taylor said she called the number that Chance was texting, and she could not believe what she heard on the other line. I said, what you hear on the other line, Taylor? She said she heard a man's voice. She said not only any man, she said the town they live in. He the town garden tool. And y'all can fill in the blank. The town gardening tool. That's who that man is. And they showed the text messages and everything. And one of the messages, he said, well, you still going to stay with him or whatever it is. So apparently, Chance has been texting this dude 171 times. So Taylor also said at 6 a.m. Chance broke into their house, took his clothes, and took her laptop. I said, what in in the crackhead is going on now? I said, this don't make no daggone sense. Lisa says, not to mention they were sitting in the truck. Shake my head. Yes, child. Chance Taylor is the definition of trailer park trash. I'm telling you now, they're the definition of it. Taylor says that they fought in that they have fought in front of the kids and everything. Just a really toxic situation. Chance called Taylor on Messenger or something. He called her on, and she was like, he told us on what's up and all that stuff. Like they cordially talking, and so Taylor is like, give me my laptop back, basically. Chance is like, I found all the stuff on your laptop. You're a dirty woman, a dirty girl, and all that. I'm like, what the heck was on the laptop? That narrative they're trying to paint. Taylor says, well, where are you at right now? At your boyfriend's house? I said, oh, child. So now they're trying to paint a narrative that Chance is dealing with a man. Do y'all believe it? Do y'all believe it? I don't know if I believe it. You know, some people like to say, oh, when you go to jail for a certain period of time as a man, you might end up doing some things up in there because you may get, sexually frustrated. And then there are some men that does time in there like 10 years or whatever, and they never think about doing something like that. But then, I don't know. I wouldn't put it past Chance to do anything. Chance is a really just vile person. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that Taylor, all the stuff that he's done to her, and she has not let this man go. And I don't get it. I just do not get it, y'all. Chance is the worst. So now they try and paint the narrative that he up here dealing with the town gardening tool. And him and this man been texting back and forth together and everything. And so I guess on the next episode, we're going to see what it is with Chance and Taylor. Hopefully this is the end of them. They get on my daggone nerves too. I can't stand them. This episode to me, like I said in the beginning, was a 5. Nothing really major happened. And that's all I got for y'all. We didn't get Brittany and Key Rocks. We did not get, who else did we get? Child, I feel like I can't even remember the names of these people sometimes with all the mess that we have going on. We did get Brittany and Key Rocks. Who else? Red and Janome. We didn't get Red and Janome. And we didn't get Brittany and Key Rock. Yeah. And in my opinion, Red and Janome, the only one that has something really, going on for real, or not even going on. They just keep you more engaged because we can't wait to see what Red is going to do stupid and then what Janome is going to actually believe from him. But all these couples are doomed. Even Chevelle and Quaylon, ain't none of them going to make it. I'm hoping next season when they come back with something and they bring a whole new fresh starter cast, they get some believable storylines, and they just really take their time to edit it properly and just really give us something. You know what I'm saying? Because I've watched this show from the beginning and I just got into reviewing it, and they need to give me something to keep me reviewing it, because I will move on to another show in a heartbeat and start reviewing that. But I do love After Lockup. Like, I've been rocking with it since Michael, Megan, and Sarah. Remember that throuple way back in the day when it first started? Like, I was watching it then, but I just didn't review it. So Tasha said yes, please, and an all new cast. Yes, please give us an all new cast, y'all. Please give us an all new cast. But that's my review, y'all, of this episode of Life After Lockup, Deleted But Not Forgotten, season 5, episode 18, I think it is. If it's your first time joining me, welcome to the live. Thank y'all for stopping through. I appreciate y'all. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Go ahead and make sure your notification button is on so you know when I go live. Go ahead and browse my page if you're trying to consider if you want to subscribe or not, to see if this is a channel for you. Check out my last video I did as a response to the Cat Williams interview. Tasha says I'm going to go back and watch the first part I missed. Okay, thank you so much, madam. I appreciate you. Go ahead and check out the video I dropped the other day about my response to the Cat Williams interview. That interview has broke the internet, y'all. And I think that's it for housekeeping, y'all. I will be dropping some story times. I'm going to start doing that with you all. There's been a lot of things that happen in my life, and I feel like I want to share with y'all during a story time. And so I thank y'all for joining me. We will be here again. I will be reviewing Love After Lockup again next Sunday, or Life After Lockup next Sunday. And I normally come on between 3 o'clock and 3:30. So if you don't get the notifications and it's like 3 o'clock, 3:30, go ahead and scroll YouTube and look for me. I'm probably on there. So thank y'all for joining me. I love y'all to pieces. Until we meet again. Bye.